Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to the Hardcore Metal Detecting Radio Show. I'm Derek Asklar. Mr. Craig Talley's on the line. We're going to be hosting the show tonight. It's open line night. We kind of pick a topic and kind of go with it a little bit there and see where it leads us. If you have a question, comment, story you want to tell, what have you, feel free to call in at 352-504-4170, and we'll get you on air here live. Or you can just get on chat right there. I see Robert Wolgass is already on. Hello, Robert. And the rest of the crew will be tagging along shortly. If you're new to the show, which I think there is a couple that are going to tune in tonight, pretty easy to get on chat. Just click on the little cloud comment button there on Spreaker.com when you're on Hardcore Metal Detecting, and you can just log in and you can join part of the chat right. There's a lot of guys and gals right there that have a lot of experience, and if you have a question, you can ask them if you don't want to be on air. So, and I try to keep track of it, but I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so bear with me. So, Craig, you were talking about the weather up there. You guys just can't catch a break. It seems like between the wind, the rain. I don't know, what is it doing up there today? Because
last weekend. We had mid 70s and even 80s.
Right.
One day got up, 87 degrees. And then like 2 days later, it's,
snowing.
32 degrees at night.
Yeah.
And about maybe 50. And now today was I think the high was about 44 or something.
Yeah. It's been...
yesterday we had flurries, a few flurries coming down.
Yeah,
I was out in my car. I was getting in my car, and I saw, what the heck is that? And I looked, and there was a little piece of ice coming down. But
we haven't had it that bad down here, but it's still cold. Cool at night, which is nice. But today we got up to 80-some degrees, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad I live in Virginia. It's like I watched the Stealth Diggers video today, and they're getting ready for their first hunt, of the year.
Yeah.
Where it's probably going to be snow on the ground when they're hunting, but it won't be that much. But like it is,
right.
They've been stocked in.
I have to watch it.
The worst day. Guys in Maine and in New Hampshire was saying it's the worst April they've ever had.
Yeah, it's almost like you guys. Is it trying to green up at all, or is it?
Yeah, I got purple flowers. I got purple blooms on one of my trees. All the cherry trees have already bloomed, and they're starting to put leaves out now. I got tulips coming up. It's supposed to go down to freezing tonight.
Yeah. It just seems kind of weird, everything's still greening up, but it's getting cold.
Yeah, it's like in the wind. It's just crazy wind lately. Usually they say you get March is the windy month.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like we're not getting really a summer, a spring and a fall anymore. We're just
it's kind of
straight summer to
winter almost.
Yeah. It was almost like this year we didn't even hardly have a summer. We almost had like a fall the whole time.
Right.
Early fall the whole time.
Yeah, you guys were lucky. We got baked pretty good last summer. But, of course, we pay our sunshine tax, so we get it all at once sometimes. It seems like. I see Bill Marsh checked in. He has to check out, but he's going to catch an archive show later on. So, Bill, be careful. Whatever you're doing, behave yourself. See him on chat right here. Yeah, but, some of y'all might not know that either. You can get on and the Spreaker.com site, and not only our show, but other shows, they usually archive them. So if you ever miss a show or you want to kind of, go back a few months or whatever, you can just click on an archive show, listen to it, or you can even download it to your smartphone or your laptop, computer, whatever, and listen to it later at your own convenience, driving to work or whatever. Maybe you're just waiting in traffic. I'd rather listen to anything else other than commercials.
Comment to me that they don't have time to do it, listen to the show live, but they download it and listen to it on the way to work. And they go, there's no commercials.
Yeah, oh yeah. I try, we try really hard not to do that. So Yeah.
Well, I mean, first is listen to the radio,
Well, yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to hear a commercial.
Well, I did that. I do that when I go down to Tampa. Down to see my mother, make sure everything's okay down there. It's like a 40-mile drive, but I turn the stereo on in the truck here, and I'll hear a good song, maybe two, and then it's like it seems like forever. 5 minutes of commercials before they get back to a song. I hate that. It's like, I just want to listen to a few songs before I get down there, just chill out and drive. And so you can actually, there's a lot of station like regular radio stations, I guess you'd call them, or entrepreneurs, just regular people making their own kind of music or whatever, or running it like a radio station. So you can actually download their stuff too. And I don't have any names right off the top of my head, but they're listed in there. You just put a genre that you want, whether it's history or hobbies or music, news radio, talk radio, whatever. They have it on there. I mean, there's gardening. I mean, everything, car repair. Believe it or not, there's tons of different topics that Spreaker has. People join Spreaker to do a radio show about, or a podcast show, and you can get this stuff and just download it, and you don't have to worry about commercials or anything like that usually, and you get to, I don't know, Craig. It's kind of neat in a way because everybody does their show differently, and you find that the right show that you like, and you just kind of follow it. And a lot of times it leads into other shows that are similar to it. They do it a little bit different way. As far as I can tell, I mean, it's a pretty good avenue for information. And it doesn't stop there. I mean, like I said, politics, whatever you're into, you can check it out on there. Be sure to like and follow these shows too. If you like them and you want to follow them, whatever, you get notifications when they're doing their next shows. Or like with ours, you'll get a notification. That's about the only thing that we do as far as advertising or what have you. It's pretty much just to get the word out. We don't monetize here. I mean, other shows do, and that's it's left entirely up to the radio show, podcast show hosts. Whoever's hosting it, whether they want to do that or not. And we try not to because, gosh, we talk about everything anyway. So, we'll do a show. If we want to talk about a particular metal detector, we'll just do a show about it, so it's no big deal. But, it's just a good avenue to be able to get some information you don't have to pay for and all that kind of stuff. So it helps out a little bit because it seems like, Craig, there's like a price tag on everything anymore. Nothing free, like these games and stuff you play, you get bored and you're waiting in line or something, you play a game on the smartphone and it's like they're always wanting you to buy, extra credits or what have you, or watch commercials to continue playing. That drives me crazy too. But, they got to make money somehow on those. Somebody spent the time to make them. So we don't do it here, but, we just kind of, it's fun. And when it becomes not fun anymore, we'll have to find some other way to do a show or do something different. But it's been fun for quite a while, so I think we're going to continue on. So it seems like, but a lot of stuff going on with me. I've been in and out of the house. I did get out metal detecting just for a little bit yesterday. Just really didn't find anything. It's just fun to get out. It seems like I'm spending my entire day running errands and fixing stuff just like everybody else, but boy, I tell you, I'm ready to get out there and really just start hunting again. It's been a couple months now, and I like to get out twice a week at least. And Craig, I know you hunt your yard and stuff, but I know you're like that too. You want to get out and just go do something, go metal detecting somewhere different. And time, kind of gets crazy sometimes. I know you're still running down to Alexandria and stuff like that, and doing this kind of your kind of stuff there.
That'll be at an end pretty soon. So
that's
in July.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just the weather's been so bad. I mean, it's like today it was like in the 40s, but the wind was just so bad that even with a coat on, you were out there. It just wasn't fun to be messing around out there. But
I actually found a place. I'm going to try to hit it. It's got some history to it, but there's nothing like written in stone. I mean, they have some there used to be this old house, I guess, sitting on the property. It's about 5 acres, and it's kind of off the beaten path a little bit. I'm thinking about. I got permission to hunt it, and I got it a couple of months ago, so probably got to check in with the landowner again. And guys, etiquette. And for your newer people, I know a lot of you guys on chat and stuff like that know this already, but detecting etiquette, it's just real important. You go and ask permission to hunt somebody's property, or metal detect somebody's property, whatever. Don't just jump a fence, go in there and beg for forgiveness kind of thing if you get caught. It's not really the right way to do it. It's, believe it or not, to me, jumping a fence or just going somebody place you don't have permission as far as private property. I hate the feeling of having to look over your shoulder. You know what I mean, Craig? Just not,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be there anyways. Just do the right thing. Ask permission. If they say no, don't freak out or nothing like that. But don't forget about the place either. Come back 6 months later or 3 months later. Ask the people again. Believe it or not, now they've seen you once already. Maybe they'll give you permission the next time. I've had that happen quite often. Usually initially people think, oh, well, what does he want and everything else, and, what is he going to find? Once they think about it a little bit, or maybe, you stop by and just talk to them, don't even ask them permission, just generally just have a conversation with the person. You build a trust or a rapport with them.
I had, just by talking to people, about, finding stuff in my yard and everything, I got 2 permissions. They just said, hey, you want to come over and hunt our place? And one's down on Main Street, down about 2 blocks from my house, and I haven't even really hunted it that much yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been months. I hunted it back in the fall, but need to go back and do it again. I don't know if there's going to be relics there or not, but a good place to check out again. But the other one I was over by the battlefield. Well, it's part of the battlefield, and Yankee camps were all through that whole area. But I got a fired bullet, but it's so thick, with brambles and everything, and really rocky. I mean, you got to watch where you walk. It's so rocky because you can step on a rock wrong.
Oh yeah, slide out and hit your leg on something and lay yourself open.
Yeah, I mean, there's boulders, and then there's just big rocks jutting out of the ground everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and we're also getting into that season too with Craig, with animals, critters, snakes. We're getting into that season now, and be aware of it. I mean, rattlesnakes don't bother me too much because you can hear them. I mean, usually you don't step on those because you're metal detecting the detectors out there. The ones that bother me are the water moccasins because I've almost stepped on them myself. It's still early for us. They're not real active or anything like that. And just be aware, look around, look for, usually you don't get bothered. I can't remember a time where one time with a hog, but it wasn't like it was trying to get me or anything like that. It was there, it saw me, it ran the other way. Luckily, wild hogs are unpredictable at best. But just be aware of stuff around you when you're out there, especially if you're by yourself. I always say if you could take a friend with you, especially like Brandon Stewart. He goes 2 or 3 miles back into the woods, and he knows what he's doing and stuff. But it's always good if you can take somebody with you, because you start thinking about it. You fall, like you're talking about, Craig, with rocks and everything. You slide down some kind of ditch or something like that, hit your head, whatever, got yourself open. You got to think of the worst to protect yourself. Have some, Brandon always takes a backpack with him, some food. I think he said he carries what he needs to survive for 3 days. Not that he'd ever have to, but, it's smart. If you're going to go back in the woods like that and you get stuck out there, it can happen to the best of us. I mean, some of us, I can remember times going in and you think the area, and you go in there and, man, you get turned around and you end up, a mile from where you started at, thinking you're going in the right direction. It's easy to get turned around in the woods if you're, every time you step around a tree or anything and make a detour to get to where you're going, you start losing a sense of where you're at, as far as direction goes, and you can easily get lost. And actually, there was a video about that, Craig. A guy was making a video, for metal detecting video, and he goes, right now I'm lost. I don't know how, I'm just kind of walking now. And he finally ended up, I can't think it was 2 miles away from where he started at or something like that. And he really thought he was heading back to his vehicle. And he just, nothing was looking familiar though. But he ended up finding a road, that he could follow back around and everything. But, it sounds funny, but it does happen to the best of us. So, kind of be careful with that. I guess we can kind of talk about that tonight, Craig. Just pretty much etiquette, safety. We're getting into that season. And, for a lot of us, or for a lot of you out there too, you might hunt mostly home sites, beaches, stuff like that. But there are the relic hunters. I mean, I know you guys go into the thick of it. You want to go where nobody else wants to go or nobody knows about, to get back in there to find those relics. Just, be careful. Just use some common sense. Usually that gets you through pretty good. And this is mostly for the newer people out there, I guess, too. Etiquette goes a long way. There's certain things we do in this hobby that needs to be done every time. And one of them is this: when you go to somebody's property and you're metal detecting, clean up after yourself. Leave the place. I can't remember what company said it, but leave it cleaner than when you found it. In other words, take all the junk you dig, throw it out, whatever. Don't leave soda cans and whatever else junk laying on the ground. You want to have that constant kind of permission where they see you come out one time, everything looks good. When you get done, there's not open holes everywhere. I mean, Robert Walgass mentioned that. Guys, fill in your holes. Nothing would, as a landowner, you walk by and you see a bunch of open holes there, it's going to tick them off, and you're probably going to lose a permission. So, fill in your holes, good etiquette. Keep it clean. The area, where you're at, pick up all your junk that you dig up. Don't put it back in the ground. There's really no sense in that. If it is a bigger item, I'm sure if you set it up against a fence pole or something like this, that, hey, look, I found this. It's too big for me to drag back. It's there. And they probably wouldn't have a problem with that. But, don't, like Craig said.
Or rebury it in the ground.
Oh, yeah. Rebury, they want to rebury it in the ground. That's true.
I mean, if it's that big,
True.
That's definitely a recourse.
Well, yeah, sometimes you have to. You don't have much choice. I've gotten.
And if you ever go back there, you're gonna know that's where a big piece of iron is.
I made a video a couple years ago like that. I dug up this 4-inch thick black water pipe in the middle of this. Well, it's a parking area, but it. I don't even know what it was from. It was about 12 foot long. I mean, I'm not going to be able to, number one, picking it up out of the ground when it was open and it's all filled with dirt, I'm not going to be able to move it, that far. So, I pushed it down in the ground, told the people about it, and they said, yeah, no problem. We've actually hit that before when they were putting in the sidewalks. They knew it was there, but, I didn't see a sense in trying to rip it out of the ground. It was going to do more damage to the area or looks-wise than was really worth it. So I just, tapped it back down in there. But yeah, I tell them about it. If it's something that big, in case if you're in a field or something, you definitely want to tell a farmer you just want to drag a plow across that thing or a disc and catch into that pipe or a big chunk of metal or something like that you might not be able to get out of the ground, and save him some money too. Barbed wire is another thing, man. You guys find barbed wire in a field when you're metal detecting, you try to drag it out of the way. I see these guys behind me, man. They constantly hitting these long strands of barbed wire. It gets all wrapped up in their brush hogs and stuff like that when they're clearing the field or whatever. It's sometimes it could be up to an hour worth of messing around trying to get in there and get that barbed wire out. So if you see it, just drag it. At least drag it off to the side of the field anyway. Hang it on the fence so they can see it. It's not something you're going to want to carry with you because you're going to get poked up so bad. Just courtesy. Be courteous. If you don't get permission, don't stomp your feet, run off, get all mad. Just okay. Well, I'll catch you around. I'll see you around sometime, and just move on to the next place you're thinking about going detecting. And I find when you go back, usually they let you on, Craig. I don't know if you've had that experience too. Once they've seen you once and know you're not, a salesman and all that other kind of stuff. Sometimes they they think you're a door knocker, so to speak, for trying to sell them something. I'm trying to think of a few. There's probably a ton of things here I'm not even saying, but and I consider them common sense. A lot of us that have been in the hobby for a while, but the newer people to the hobby may not even know it. Don't go up with your metal detector up to the door and your shovel and say, "Hey, can I dig up your yard?" You just go up there, knock on the door first. Don't bring your equipment or anything like that. You don't want to intimidate anybody, and you ask them. And that way, too, if they're not going to give you permission, they don't feel like they were like forced into, I don't know, even talking to you. You're just kind of knocking on the door, talking to them. And I find more often than not, I end up talking to the person for more than an hour, and they'll start telling you stuff. Listen to what they're telling you, because it's going to give you maybe some insight to where the activity was on their property. And some of the older people, I have Alan is a good friend of mine. He lives over behind the battlefield. That's the property I've been hunting. And I always make time when I go there. Even now, I'll talk to him for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, because he likes, he has all these stories. I mean, and yeah, some of them might be embellished a little bit, but most of the time, he's given me information about other properties around the area, what used to be there, because he'd been here all his life. And I think he's, in his 60s or something like that, but he remembers properties, houses, stuff that's not there anymore. So that would give me some insight. Okay, I want to go over here and check this out. What else was in the area? And usually you end up getting more permissions because he talks to his neighbors, and a couple of his neighbors have contacted me. One of them lost, I want to say it was a set of earrings. I don't, all you can do is do your best. I'll go over there, try to find them for them, but they're going to be appreciative of that. And, by helping them out, they're going to help you out, and it's a good thing for everybody. Show them what you're finding, if it doesn't, if that's part of the agreement. Always try to get that out front, what you're finding. That way there's no surprises and nobody gets upset either way. And there's some places that I tell them, hey, whatever I find you can have. I mean, I want to be able to go out and hunt. And I always tell them, I said, well, if I find a $20 gold piece, we're going to have to talk. But, because it's something that would be on my bucket list or something like that. But most of the time, if you do that for a person, if you're just wanting to hunt the property, and most of the time, they'll give you most of the stuff back. Oh, I don't really want that or anything, but it's really cool to look at. Can I get a photo of it or whatever? And, you're making a friend, so it works out pretty good. More often than not, it's like Alan, he wants to, use a metal detector, so I take one of my extra ones over there, and he can horse around with it if he wants to. You're kind of involving him in the hobby that way. Craig, you get permissions all the time just by hunting your own yard. The lady across the street from you and everything else, and well, you can hunt this if you want to. She runs everybody else off, but Craig, she'll invite over. It's kind of cool. So, yeah, shoot. I'm trying to think here, Craig. I guess we just don't think about this anymore. It's just second nature for us to do some of this stuff. As far as equipment you need to carry with you, be careful. Well, I should say that. Be careful of your cell phones, guys. Some of these cell phones really mess with these detectors. You don't even realize it at first. I had one particular kind of flip phone kind of thing. It never, if it rang or something like that, it was never a problem. But if somebody texted me, man, it would mess up my, I started getting EMI and couldn't figure out where it was. It wouldn't last very long, obviously, but don't, if you can help it, if you start getting interference and you're in the middle of the woods, obviously it has to be something. And check your cell phone. Turn off your cell phone for a while or whatever. See if it goes away. We got so many signals going every which way, and Wi-Fi signals and microwave signals and all this stuff. There's a lot of things that can mess with your metal detectors, depending on which brand and how susceptible they are to EMI, electromagnetic, whatever, energy. We'll just call it that.
Yeah.
High tension wires, that kind of thing. Some machines have adjustments to adjust it out. Other ones don't. And you're kind of at that mercy on that part of it. But there's things you could do to help yourself. One's the sensitivity on your machine. You could turn that sensitivity down some lower than you would normally be. That sometimes helps. Also, if you're able to manually ground balance your machine, I've found going higher on the can't really call it ground coarsely. Higher on the ground balance, sometimes on these analog machines will help you out a little bit too. Find ways to make your machine, adjust your machine to make it quieter, more stable. And it really just depends on which machine you have. It can't really, not every machine's the same, obviously. Make sure you got good footwear on. I mean, don't go out there and flip. I see a lot of guys do it, and I know one of them. Tom Jones, he go on the beach in flip-flops. Man, I tell you what, you hit that arch of your foot on that shovel or that sand scoop the wrong way, you're going to be paying for it later. It's going to stone bruise you, and it's happening. I wear my boots. I mean, the same boots I go out relic hunting in. I just wear those on the beach. Good ankle support. Your feet don't hurt as bad. Sand will tear you up, Craig. That soft.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you wouldn't think it'd be that bad. It's nice and soft, but you walk 3 or 4 hours in that stuff, man. Your calf muscles are killing you. Just from the unstableness of the sand. Shoot, I'm trying to think of other things too. Heck. Well, I can't think of anything else, so we're going with something else.
It's definitely, important. It's, it can. Once your feet start hurting, you're not
you're
going to
done
last very long.
Right, and quality too. I bought a pair of Thorogood boots. I got them online. They're on the same level as Red Wing boots. I think I paid. Oh God, Craig, what did I pay for those? I think I told you a while back. I think I paid like $180 for this pair of boots, maybe $200. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I got a picture of them on the Hardcore Metal Technic Facebook page. I just now, one of the shoelaces broke. It's been over a year. Structurally, I mean, the boots are comfortable still. They're not wore out. The arches of the boots from digging aren't tore up. There's still, there's still a lot of support in them, and I recommend them to anybody. I mean, I go through boots. Usually pretty good. I did it to CWPPO hunt. The bottom of the boot ripped right off, and those were actually. I'm trying to remember the name of them. I can't remember. I had those for about 7 months, I think, when it did that. I'm real hard on boots, so for me to buy a pair of these, it's they're pretty durable. I'm not going to buy junk, so they're right on the same level as Red Wing boots, which are really high quality too, really good stitched. And I found that I like composite toe boots. Don't get steel toe because you're metal detecting. And it's going to, I've already made that mistake.
No metal.
No metal. But if you buy the composite toe, the safety shoes, boots that have it's not plastic, it's some kind of I'm sure it is plastic, whatever, it's composite of some kind. They're really solid. You're always kicking dirt in holes. You're always, tripping on things or kicking stuff around with your boots. Why not get composite toe boots? That way you don't hurt your foot. But it also doubles, it adds to the strength of the boot. The ones I have, man, I tell you what, they're, I'm going to buy another pair if I have to, no problem. Wouldn't even think twice about it because they've been so good and supported my ankles. My knees, I have a lot of arthritis going on and stuff because I'm getting old as dirt, and it seems like so. But yeah, I mean, if you have a lot of old football injuries or whatever else, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You got to have a good pair of boots make the whole day, buddy. You can just.
Yeah, I've broken 7 bones in my feet playing sports and stuff over the years. My right ankle feels it all the time, but. I'm thinking about getting these some lighter hiking boots. Like you said, with a composite. I've been looking at them on Amazon and stuff, but they pretty pricey. A lot of them.
Yeah.
But, some of them are breathable. And but they still have the support and stuff. But I don't know. I'm gonna look into it because in the summer the ones I've got are Rocky. They're like tactical boots, like the special forces or whatever, where you can actually run in them because they're so flexible. You can actually run in them. But
see, I'm finding
they get kind of hot in the summer.
Yeah, I think that's the one change I would make, Craig, with the boots that I have. They're real, like I said, they're strong and everything, but you got to be careful how flexible your boots are, depending on how your feet are. I mean, Craig, you're an athlete. I mean, you're a runner, you're a track runner, you're a tennis player, everything like that. So your feet are kind of like they've grown used to doing, that flexing, that moving and everything where, I'm a football player, that kind of thing. Having that flex in there bothers me. I like a hard, like a harder soled boot, one that doesn't flex so much because I'm not going to be running anywhere. I mean, I don't run anymore because I pretty much can't. I'd probably tear myself up if I did. But, if I really, really had to, I guess I could run. But I don't run anywhere. I just kind of walk at a ginger pace.
I like them because, when I get down on the ground, you kind of flex a little bit, and
well, yeah, that makes sense.
So that it's more comfortable that way,
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't get them because I was going to run in them. I just,
Oh yeah.
I also like they zip up the side, so I don't have to tie my shoes or anything on my boots.
Oh, okay. I never even thought about that aspect of it.
They actually have laces, but it zips up once you get them the way you like them, then you just zip them on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, I hadn't really thought that aspect of it either. Ease of just kind of zip up and go. It's almost like a Velcro deal too.
Yeah, you figure, if you're in the armed services,
right?
You need to get your boots on quick sometimes.
Well, I kind of said too, Craig, that I don't really run anymore. Let me tell you something. A black bear comes out or a bobcat or something, you're going to see a white man running like crazy, because it's going to be funny as heck. I hope I get it on camera before I die from the bear attack or something like that, because I don't run anywhere. I mean, I move fast, but I don't run. So,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. When you have this stupid stuff we do as younger guys and gals, I'm sure they do it too, but, I got screws in my ankle, staple in my knee, 3-disc fusion of my neck. I mean, I'm pretty well beat up, pretty good, but I still get out there. And you just got to find ways that you can work through it. Like Craig, you get down on the ground and dig. Well, not on the ground every time, but you kneel down and you'll get a target out of the ground. Where you're using a trenchment shovel, I'm using a long handle shovel, so I don't have to do that so much because. Yeah, I can get down on the ground. Me getting back up off the ground, it's painful. So why am I going to do something that's going to, bother me if I can retrieve a target like
I've never
that?
had any problem with my knees much.
Oh, it's miserable.
I'm good there, but
I just had a buddy get a knee replacement, and actually, I was actually really surprised. He was in the post at the VFW post today or yesterday, and I think he had it done maybe 2 weeks ago tops, and that's a lot less invasive than it was, I don't know, 10 years ago where they used to really lay you open and everything. He's up and moving around. He's in pain a little bit, but that's to be expected. But to have a knee replacement and be able to still move around like that after just like 2 weeks. I tore an ACL in high school, and man, I was in a cast for 6 weeks just to put a staple in the tendon. It's crazy how far we've come. They did mine. My knee was one of the first orthoscopics that they've done. They used to have to take down both sides of your leg and pretty much fillet you open that way to get in there. So, the times now they're doing stuff orthoscopically, pretty much a scope, and a lot less invasive than it used to be, as far as even infection
doing
stuff.
with robots or even performing surgery better than humans.
Yeah, now these guys.
That'll be probably the way it goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, back, nowadays you get an ACL tear or something like that. It's pretty much a cruciate ligament. It's a center ligament in your knee. I mean, it used to put people out of sports or whatever. I mean, it did to a certain extent with me. I was young, so I could, kind of work through it a little bit better. But I feel it now, man. It's like, And I was the same way with your foot, Craig. You start breaking bones and stuff, and so you got to find a way to work around it. You're not going to do something that's going to irritate it all the time. So you find different ways to do stuff so you don't irritate the injury. That's what I've tried to do.
I'd take a leave if I need it.
I think I own stock in ibuprofen.
Yeah.
That's funny. That stuff, it really worked for me. That leave really worked, but. I don't know, man. If you ever start to take a medicine and you just don't feel right, you just regular over-the-counter stuff, and that's what I had happen with the leave, man. I was getting these weird, it wasn't pain in my chest, but it was like uncomfortable. And it was only after when I stopped taking a leave, I didn't have that whatever issue anymore. So, know what your body's doing, guys,
I don't, I haven't taken one in months, but, every once in a while, especially like, how sometimes you can like bend over at the sink or something, and all of a sudden your back locks up.
Yeah.
That's when you need to leave.
Yeah, I tell you, a sciatic nerve. I tell you, I know where that is, and I wish I could rip it out of my body because I used to have a big problem with that. It's like a nerve that runs from from my ankle up to my hip, and guys, it would get so bad, and this is going to sound funny. I literally could not walk up to a table like a regular, conference table, and reach out and pick up a piece of paper without being in excruciating pain, to the point where I just almost bring you to tears. That's how bad mine was. I started going to a chiropractor, and it turned out that because of never being to a chiropractor, it was hard for me to even go there because it freaks me out a little bit. But one foot was like an inch shorter than the other. One leg was inch shorter than the other. And it was causing that problem with the sciatic nerve. But they do those even different now. It's not all about grabbing a hold of you and twisting you, cracking bones like they used to. They have these tables, that they've been using for quite a while. It's a chiropractic table, and it's no big deal. I mean, but you feel really good afterwards. I tell you, man, it really lines your back up, your legs, your hips, everything, man. I never was a believer, but I go about every 6 months or so to do that. It's like $40. I mean, it's well worth it. I'd pay that per month if I had to if I needed, I was in that much pain to get out of pain without having to take Tylenol or Advil or anything else, God forbid any, like really powerful stuff. Some of my friends have, really just beat the heck out of their bodies, and they're having to, they're pretty much on this stuff regardless whether they metal detect or whatever else just to function. It's a big problem with our generation, Craig. I think, this 35 to, 65 years old. Really, it's about 40. Everything goes downhill by 40. That's what I've been told. So that's when you start really realizing, you know what? I could do this. I'm as good once as I ever was, like the song says, because you're going to feel it for the next week afterwards. So Craig seen me, Craig thought he was going to have to get a two-wheel dolly to take me up back to the hotel at the CWPPO a couple years ago. That was painful, man.
Oh man,
God, I'd never been in that much. I didn't even know it, Craig. You knew that. I got out of the car and I'm like, I went to take a step and my leg
all of a sudden your leg wouldn't work.
Yeah, and I couldn't walk. I mean, I literally couldn't take that step. If I did, I'd end up on the ground. It's like, talk about embarrassing. It's like, Craig, I don't know what's going on, man. I got to get back in the car. But the next day I was fine. It's strange, man. My body's been so beat up. I don't know. I try to ignore it as much as possible. Just bite your tongue or whatever. Just don't say nothing. But yeah, everybody has this kind of stuff. I mean, I know that, Bill deals with his stuff, and I'm sure Robert, you do. I see Sam Waters is on tonight. Hi, Sam. And Nelson Sauter's on tonight on chat here. If you guys want to, get on chat, all you have to do is log in and just click the comment button, and you can get on to chat right here. All these guys and gals right here know a lot about metal detecting. If you have questions or comments, if you'd like to call in, our number is 352-504-4170, and you can call in and ask your question there, tell us a story, whatever. I mean, it's all about. We don't really have a format here. We just kind of go with the flow of it. But Craig, I'm looking at. And I always told you guys I was going to do this. If I found a detector that interests me, hang on a second, guys. Let me link this in real quick. Okay, we got them linked in. But I'll go ahead and do this first. 614 area code. You're on live on the air there.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Evan Crady.
Oh, Evan. Okay.
Hey, what's up?
You're calling from a different phone,
how's
brother.
It going? Yeah, I'm sneaky like that.
Yeah, it fooled me. How's it going, brother?
Oh, it's not going too bad. We had a little warm up late last week, and it was like 70 degrees for a couple days. And
Yeah.
then Monday morning it was 24 degrees and snowing. So it's for some reason winter's not giving up here in Ohio.
Yeah, Craig
It
said the
doesn't seem to
same.
be giving up anywhere.
Yeah, but it's coming. So we were able to get out. We've been getting on some really interesting sites.
Yeah, I saw
We even
some.
picked up yeah, we were digging some interesting sites. Like one of them is like the old city dump nearby, and it was kind of a joke, really. The guy that owns the property is like, "Hey, how good are those machines? You go over there in the dump and see if you can find something." And he was laughing, and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, let's
So
do it.
so we went over and started plucking out coins, barbers out of the dump. So it was pretty neat. And we found an old picnic grove that was supposedly wiped out from flooding, but we found it. It's swampy, but it's there, and we're pulling coins out of that. And then we're digging on a site that was just a trash dump where people were pitching stuff over the hill, bottle dump, trash dump.
Mm-hmm.
We were bottle hunting, and I was scanning just for the heck of it, and pulled a Barber half out,
Jeez,
1899 Barber half.
can't beat that.
Yeah, and Sam came
Nah.
over, and then she found another Barber half. Then she found another Barber half, and I think by the time we got done, we had 12 Barbers out of this 10 by 10 area. Somebody must have pitched a jar of coins.
Oh, yeah,
But, yeah,
that'll work.
it
Yeah.
was pretty neat.
Yeah, you guys get into some interesting stuff up there. I mean, you had a couple videos out, and I saw those a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if you guys were at any of those sites at the time. I haven't. To be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to check out a lot of the videos. Craig was just telling me about the Stealth Diggers having a new one out, or who was it? Stealth Diggers, Craig? They just
Yeah,
came, yeah.
the Hoover Boys are on.
Or Hoover
Wednesday,
Boys, I'm
and
sorry.
Stealth Diggers are on Thursdays.
Yeah.
So they're my two
Yeah,
favorite
we've been.
ones to watch.
Yeah, they are fun. Yeah, we've been trying to do more video. We're still doing mostly live videos. Like
Yeah, that's
when we
good.
know we got a coin. But we're gonna probably start compiling videos and
Yeah.
actually do some editing and starting to load them up on YouTube and get our YouTube page vamped up. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
'Cause
well,
they're fun. They're fun to do
yeah,
those videos.
yeah.
Anyways, they're interesting. So.
I've been trying. I bought a GoPro a couple years ago, but I have a hard time. It's like I just want to go out and dig.
Right.
I don't. It's like I really focus a lot on what I'm doing in the sites we're hunting, and I need to just get into the habit of shooting film while we're doing it. But
Yeah, I wear a chest mount.
We're working towards it.
Yeah, I wear a
Yeah.
chest mount for that reason because there's actually a remote for mine. I just hit it, when I'm actually live hunting, like whatever. And I don't make a big production
okay.
about it. So, but I just hit the button. It's already facing the ground. It's already watching the detector. So I can actually, if I find a target, I can back up a little bit, turn the camera on. Oh, here we got a signal right here. We knew it was there, but I mean, you got it on camera, then you dig it, and you kind of go with it. And then later on, you can edit out any kind of like long pauses, or maybe you're having a problem finding a target in the
That's
plug.
pretty slick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how you perceive it. That's the biggest thing I can say to anybody that makes videos. Do them the way you want. Don't try to copy anybody else. Just do it the way you want to, and see how it turns out. I mean, because Evan, you guys, you and Sam, I mean, you guys know what you're doing, anyways. I mean, it's really not for you because you know how to do this stuff. Anyways, either the metal touching part, you know what people like to see, and I saw one, and to give you an example of the other spectrum. I saw this guy who was beach hunting with a machine, and I think we saw one bottle cap, but the rest of the time he's just walking around swinging the detector. Well, that's the way he wanted to make the video.
Yeah, I see those ones where they mount the camera on the detector, and then I can only handle about 30 seconds of it before I'm like dizzy and done with that.
A couple of mine.
I probably saw the same one.
Yeah, the couple of my videos, my first videos were like that, and I was editing them and getting motion sickness. I'm like, oh, we're not doing this anymore. I've got to figure out something else to get that perspective, that motion. Because you think about it, every time you swing the detector, the camera's moving too, and the shakiness, and it's okay for a short period
Right.
of time, but not like constantly. But yeah, the chest mounts for like the GoPro, uh,
Uh-huh.
I want to say they're $30, maybe. You probably can find them cheaper than
Okay.
that, and they're actually. I still have the one I had from 4 years ago, and it's not broken yet or
Huh.
anything. The GoPro, they sell all the attachments. If you have a different kind of phone, or if you're trying to use a cell phone or something with a tripod mount, I should say, in it, they do sell
Okay.
adapters for it to a like I have a MUVI camcorder. It has a
Okay.
I had to buy a different fitting, to put on there so it would connect to the GoPro one. The chest
Gotcha.
mount. So yeah, no big deal. I mean, it's giving you good enough pixels and all that. A lot of them are 1080 now. Even 720 is not bad for making an outdoor kind of metal detecting video because you're not like shooting tons of scenery or anything like you're trying to,
Right. Right.
where it's going to get blurred
Very
up and
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, I'll do that. Maybe I'll just put a chest mount on and just. I think that'd be a good place to start. I'll do
Well,
that.
it
Thanks.
keeps your
Thanks for
hands.
the tip.
Oh yeah, no problem. It keeps your hands free because you got a shovel in one, you got your detector in the other. You're bending over trying to pick up targets and everything else. It's just right there. It's not in your way, so to speak. It just makes it kind of
Nice.
convenient. It's better than a helmet mount. I've seen some of these with the hat mounts or whatever the head mounts. That those things.
Yeah.
I
Uh
had
huh.
one. Those to me, those got annoying, and especially on a hot day, you're
Yeah.
sweating like crazy and everything. Uh, they do have them. Some people like them. You can even probably mount those to your
Yeah.
arm or wrist or something. Just be careful of the shake. And,
Yeah. We're out in the woods a lot too. That'd be
right.
probably annoying. Like the tree branches would be hitting it and everything else.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
better
Yeah.
on a chest mount.
I'm gonna do a video
Cool.
on some of this stuff too because I just as a matter of fact it's gonna be here tomorrow. Got a GoPro 5.
Mhm.
I was gonna go with the GoPro 6, but essentially with the 4K, um, uh, shoot, what do they call it? Frames per second. It's like a 60 frames per
Uh
second or
huh.
something like that. I was watching comparison video of all things of a GoPro 5 and a GoPro 6. Really, the GoPro 6 has a stabilizer in it, but the picture on the GoPro 5 was better on like if you took you were doing a video in front of a bunch of flowers, different colors.
Mhm.
The GoPro 6 was actually a little bit like distorted or blending into each other.
Really.
Yeah, and the GoPro 5 wasn't doing that. Now you're not shooting in 4K 60 frames per second. You're shooting, I think they say 30 frames per second, but you're really getting 1080, but you're getting a high
Okay.
quality so you can edit it very easily. Um, and the other thing was the sound. If you're into sound, the way everything sounds, all the GoPros, or at least the 5 and the 6, for whatever reason, the microphone they never improved. So
Hmm.
I got an external mic, and I think it's a Rode that you could plug into the GoPro 5, and it cleans up the audio really nice. I'm hoping that's what I've read about it, and I watch a lot of reviews on stuff before I buy it. But that was one of the
Hmm.
things I thought was kind of neat, and I think it was only $40 for it, so it's really not, so like a couple hundred or anything like that. So it was very easy
Yeah.
to put on there.
Now,
Um,
what do you use for editing?
I'm actually using iMovie through Mac. You can use it.
Okay.
The same thing on a PC. You'd use Live Movie Maker, and
Okay.
it gives you enough. It makes some. I think that makes them good enough. Now you can go extreme and get one of these packages like Vegas Movie Maker or something. You're going to have to learn a lot more to understand it, I
Sure.
think. But the regular ones that come with your computers, the iMovie for the Apple products and the Live Movie Maker with. Well, it was on my
Okay.
Toshiba with Windows. It worked really well. I mean, that's what I've made all my videos with. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not
I know.
perfect,
I
but
think I have that on. I know I have Windows Movie Maker on my
yeah,
computer.
and
Yeah.
it pretty much cut and drop, buddy. I mean, it's just you just down you take your
Cool.
video, you download it to your computer, you open up Live Movie Maker, and you actually you can download those sections of footage that you want, and then you can cut them, edit them, and bring them down into the final product. Just pretty much highlight and drag and drop. And then you can add,
Okay.
they have a lot of little things that you can add a little title, and you can slow down the frame footage. You could take the sound out altogether and just narrate the whole thing. There's a lot of things you could do, but just start out basic. It's not really, you won't have a problem, I know, Evan, because you're technically inclined anyways. But I learned this stuff over the years, and it really wasn't that hard, because if it was aggravating, I probably would have never done it. So it's just one of those things you can pick up rather quickly.
I do everything on my iPhones. I've been doing it for, I guess, 6.5 years, and I do use iMovie on most of the time on my iPhone. I can edit everything
Okay.
on that and upload straight from the phone.
I've got
It's always in my pocket. So
Yeah. What's that, Evan?
I've got a GoPro app too on the iPhone, but heck, I could probably just use the iPhone software.
Yeah.
Working good for Craig.
Yeah, it's a little smaller. I'm more of a.
every year they improve the cameras on the iPhones. I mean, I got the 10 now, and it's got almost like SLR qualities to the. It's got double lens on the back, and you can do a lot more with doing zooming out, with the photos and in the movies now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your videos are great.
Yeah, I'm actually going.
Back.
There's one thing I've noticed over the years is people have trouble with their cameras all the time. They're either breaking,
Right.
and I noticed this on one of the, I think it was Charlie Digger Charlie was saying about his camera. You got to be careful, get dirt and stuff in it.
Right.
And, when you're out there digging, I mean, digging in this isn't that great on
Cameras,
some
yeah.
electronics and stuff.
Yeah, you got to be careful. That's why I
When
went.
you're out in the elements. Also you got to be careful. Getting it wet and stuff. My iPhone, you can almost drop it in water now for about 5 or 10 minutes, and it won't ruin it.
Yeah, that's why I actually got the waterproof. That's why I got the GoPro 5. It's waterproof. If it rains or whatever else, it's not going to hurt it so bad. You got to be careful of the lens. But they do sell covers for those too, protective covers. But you got to keep your lens clean, obviously. But Evan, I
I
don't
don't
think you're
even
going to have any
remember
problem.
which one I got. It's like a little cube. I think it's a Hero. I'm
Oh,
not
you
sure.
have the Session. Is it a Session? Maybe. Oh, that
Yeah,
may have just come out.
that's
Okay. Yeah, those are actually depending on which one you have. That I was looking at the ratings on those things. They're not really that bad. They're actually pretty convenient. You could stick them on. Like take. They call. I can't remember what they call it. I call it silly putty. And you stick it on they stuck it on a car hood, and they stuck that cube on there and drove down the road, and it stayed on there. I wouldn't do that, but I mean, typically, but yeah.
I think it's a Hero 2, if I remember right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It's not like it's probably more entry level, but I thought it'd be a good place to start.
I shoot my videos, Evan. You're gonna laugh. I shoot my videos. I paid $100 on Amazon for that camera I have, that camcorder, action
That's
cam.
slick. It's got a remote and everything.
It has a remote. It has all the adapters. It came with a full package of it. Like you can mount it on a bicycle. It has a helmet mount. It had all these little doodads. And I don't shoot. They're probably still out in the office because I don't really use that kind of stuff. I use my chest mount. I've actually thought about just giving it to somebody on the show here if one of you guys wants to try it out. I got if you're interested, Evan, I'll send it up to you. I mean, that's no big deal. But
Okay.
I mean, you just let me know. But it's probably not as good as the new GoPros or anything. It's not on the same. It's pretty good. I mean, it's average. But you can actually take still shots with it. It has a remote with it and everything. I can send it up there if you'd like, and you could try it out. And if you want it, you can have it. And I'm not worried about it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I'm actually getting that. I'm in the process. Well, I've also, Craig, I'm joining your fan club. I bought a Spark, so
Yeah.
it comes in tomorrow too.
Well, I
so.
was just getting ready to say, now we can have the spark following us while we dig, filming us.
Oh yeah, I thought it'd be kind of cool. This is totally new to me because I'm freaking out. But the camera on these Sparks, they actually sell a unit. You put the Spark in, and it has the Spark has gimbal in it or whatever. It anti or stabilizers, obviously, because it's a drone.
Mm-hmm.
But you actually put it in this. I'm going to call it a holder, and you can walk around with this, and you can actually shoot video like you would with your GoPro or whatever. You got to be careful
Wow.
because of the shakiness. You got to be careful because it only has a 2-point gimbal where the ones you buy.
Well, you can actually control it on the either your phone or your on the controller.
Well, yeah,
gimbal.
that's true. Yeah, yeah. The when you buy a gimbal, then I figured out that's what I needed to get to. Only because we're doing outdoor shots, we're walking around and everything like that. But with the Spark, I mean, it gives you a little bit of a advantage because you don't necessarily have to fly it. You can just use it for the camera itself, and I think it even mounts to a tripod if you wanted it to. I think there were like $40, $30, $40. It may even be less than that. So there's a lot of options out there, but it's if you don't worry about if a lot of guys get fussy about like shakiness or whatever else. Don't worry about that so much. It's about the content. It's not about people know you're outside. They know you're detecting. They're understanding about the environment you're in. It's not like you're in a movie studio or a sitting still. You're out there working.
Right.
Having fun.
I was all worried about the 4K. I was all worried about 4K, and then I started talking. I started talking to these drone guys that do these YouTube videos, and they were saying unless you're doing like almost like professional videos, that you're making money off of, you don't really need 4K. The other problem is it takes up so much data.
Oh, it's an extreme amount of data.
The data is incredible, and the higher the frame rate is even worse. So that's why you don't see high frame rates much in the 4K.
Well, I've seen a video, Craig,
phone,
with that.
I can do 4K on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, Craig, you brought up the frame rate on a GoPro 5 and a GoPro 6 is a lot different. 4K, the same length of a video shot that you make. They did one with the GoPro 5 and the GoPro 6. It took, I think, 7 minutes for the footage to download to the smartphone. That's the way they were doing it. Yeah. It took 22 minutes or something like that for the GoPro 6 because it had the 4K 60 frames per second. It's a lot more information to move over. So you're talking a longer download time. So, you're not shooting like for a Hollywood movie or something like that. That's the way I felt about it. 1080 is good. I mean, I think it's, it has really good footage for 1080 and it's a lot quicker to download.
Most of the media nowadays isn't even supporting 4K yet.
Right. It's not. It's good, but it just hasn't made its. It's still in the process. I think.
I don't think YouTube particularly supports 4K.
No,
playback.
1080 is about the highest I think they have.
Yeah.
Maybe they've changed it since, but they've been changing a lot.
In about 3 years, they'll be on the 4K, and it'll be like 1080 is now probably. And they'll be working on 8K.
Yeah, probably right.
But I've been, actually, I was just going to tell them before you called in, Evan, that I've always told you guys if I come across, me and Craig look for other metal detectors, and if we see one that interests us, we'll buy it to see if it's any good. A lot of times we don't even, like make a video about them or nothing because it's like, all right, they're not at the level I want them to be, as far as the detector itself, but I found one. I found a good one, and it's going to be, in the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks to start telling you guys more about it. I can't really tell you too much about it right now. Don't really want to as far as that aspect, but yeah, it's a very interesting metal detector. I think you guys are going to like it.
I do the same thing. I see some of those ones like guys using in Europe that I've never heard of, and I'm like, okay, well, what is that? And I see those from time to time too, and I'm intrigued.
Well, it's technology. I mean, some of these detectors are running differently. They've been built differently, or they're using different technologies a little bit. It's new stuff. It's cutting edge, And a lot of times in Europe or these other countries, they have them before us because it's really hard to probably market some of this stuff. I mean, I don't know. We're picky. We're tough on detectors. We're picky about our detectors. We want them to be, all that. I mean, we're going to find one that is,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not going to put up with
Some people are brand conscious too.
right brand
They can only
conscious.
Yeah,
use
Yeah,
certain brands.
Yeah.
that's a problem,
Mhm.
in a way, because I've always tried to keep an open mind about all detectors because doggone it, if I find one that's good, I'm going to jump on that thing. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to pick it apart. I'm going to find out exactly what it'll do, and if it fits into my arsenal, heck yeah, I'm going to have it. I mean,
Yeah, same here. I'm totally unbiased. Well, you guys know I run like lots of different machines.
oh yeah. I mean,
Uh,
they all have their
mhm.
pluses and minuses to them, but until you,
Yeah, most people that are serious do. I mean,
Mhm.
I've had a hell of a lot of machines over the years, but
right,
I'm always looking for something. I'm just interested. I've always been interested.
Yeah.
Now with the internet, you get so much more information, and you got so many more people commenting. On things that I know.
Yeah,
I've
the
talked to
word
some of
gets
these
out a lot
people for a long
faster.
time, so a lot of times they'll tell me things that aren't really out there yet. But
I got well, it's Craig. It's like I was telling you the other day. The way I pick apart even videos. I'm not, and guys, don't watch if you're really truly like a particular kind of detector or very interested in a metal detector. Don't necessarily key on the person using the detector or whatever the
Yeah.
environment. You're tune into what the detector is doing. Even they may not even mention it. A lot of times they don't even realize it, but we're hearing it over the sound and seeing what they're doing with it. You're focus on the detector that you're interested in, because even if it's a shoddy
Mhm.
video and not a well done video in your opinion, you can get a lot of information on it. And that's what I did with this detector.
Right.
I'm watching videos from foreign countries. I don't understand the language, that kind of thing, but I can watch what they're doing. I can look at the detector, see what it's doing and everything. And okay, this is something it does different than the other detectors. That's what interests me.
Mhm.
When I start finding multiple things that a detector does better than other detectors I've dealt with, or on the same level but in a different way, I'm wanting to test it out. And my wife will kill
Sure.
me.
Sure.
My wife wants to kill me sometimes because of this. Because she goes, "You just bought that thing and you're getting rid of it already?" I said, "Well, it doesn't match up. It doesn't. It's not what they said it was." So I'll just sell it to somebody on eBay or whatever else. And
Yeah.
we're authorized distributors for the Bliss Tool metal detector and everything. But hey, it doesn't mean I'm dead. I mean, I love the Bliss Tool. I mean, it's my go-to detector. I will put it up against anything. But it doesn't keep me from going
Mhm.
out looking for a
Sure.
good detector, because hey, that's what we do. That's what it's like. Like with you guys with the Equinox. When Sam got that.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
different. She realized the difference in it. She noticed something about it. She liked it, and it performs good.
Oh,
So what the heck,
she is slaying it. I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely slaying it with it. And
and
it
I'm
didn't take her too long
no,
to
no.
learn it.
Well, the one I'm looking at, the one I got, yeah, you guys are gonna like it. I think. I mean, I really do.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so
Can't wait to hear more about it.
oh yeah. It's you don't find very many that add up right off the get go by looks and strength and stuff like that. You don't, the way it's engineered, you don't find very many
Mhm.
from start opening the box up until I haven't got to the point to use it a lot yet, but
Mhm.
from the opening the box to that point, everything is really nice. I mean, it's very very
Very
user
cool.
friendly and portable. So I mean,
Have,
I know
have
you
you
like it. What's
have
that?
you seen those machines that they're feeding up? Use a cell phone and it runs off an app. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys looked
Yep.
into those at all yet.
Oh, you mean,
I
wait a
think.
minute.
I
Say it
mean,
again. Say it again, because I missed part of that.
it looks like you basically run it off a cell phone app, and it mounts on your shaft, and so it's like you're basically using your smartphone to drive the machine. I've
I
just seen a couple little articles about them. They're European. I don't
Oh,
know
No, I haven't. I haven't
I
seen
don't know if
those.
they're any good,
I don't know,
but
but
yeah,
I'll have to
it's like,
check
oh,
it
that's
out.
pretty slick. I could see they might have something there, but
Yeah, I mean, we
kind of,
touched on. I thought you meant just the cell phone itself. They have those cell phone app metal detector apps. Somebody told me they only pick up an inch away or something. But I guess if they run it into the uh,
yeah, it's like it looks like a dais with an iPhone strapped to it, and it drives
huh,
the machine all right off the cell phone. I was like, well, it's clever. I mean, depending if
yeah,
the
kind of neat.
machine, the machine, I don't know how the machine would work, but yeah, it's pretty neat. So, you guys pretty busy in June this year?
Oh,
Got a lot going on?
I have a lot of not only metal detecting associated stuff going on. I got some the VFW post and everything. Pauline actually they just voted
Uh-huh.
her in as president of the auxiliary, which is really cool. I'm really proud of her, and you know she's really involved with that. So of course I am too. And between that and
Sure.
run around, so yeah, I'm slammed. I mean, I literally came in a half an hour before the show
Really?
started. Yeah, but it's a good kind. I'm
What?
busy, but it's good busy
Yeah.
really.
Well, you guys, we got our wedding date kind of locked down,
Yeah, I
and
heard.
it's
Congratulations.
yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. It's gonna be Friday, June 22nd, and June 22nd through the 24th, we're gonna do a dig for everybody coming in for it.
Oh,
We're probably not gonna be doing a big CWPPO hunt like previous years,
right, right.
um, because this will essentially make up for it. We may do some smaller digs. We've got a couple of smaller sites that we'll probably hit this year, but it won't be nearly the size of previous years.
Hmm.
But our wedding dig is gonna be pretty special. It's gonna be on a very large historical site, about around 600 acres.
Wow.
Um, and it's a site that we don't believe it's been off limits to metal detecting as far as we know, that we may be
Right.
the first group to come in and hunt, and we're going to be looking for things for a museum there that's on site. But yeah, we'll be sending you guys out an invitation to it, and yeah, I
Great.
know everybody's schedule's busy, but you never know. Maybe if you guys can make it, we sure love to have you.
I'd really, really want to try to get up there. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
sounds
how.
great.
Yeah, I know. I was really happy to hear that you guys were getting married and everything. That's awesome, and I like the way you guys are doing the way you've talked about doing the wedding and everything like that. That's kind of cool. you know,
It's going to be very cool, and it'll be very untraditional, but
hey,
it's going to be perfect for us, and
yeah, that's
and
all that
I
matters.
think it'll be a once in a lifetime opportunity for people that are this passionate about metal detecting. It's going to be a really, really fun event.
Yeah, it was
Oh
nice to
yeah.
see. I mean, what could be better? You guys, in love, going to get married,
Yeah,
and you love metal detecting. I mean, that can't get any better than that. I mean, throw a nice cold
absolutely.
beer
Yeah.
with it, and you really got everything. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll be having a reception, so yeah, Chad will be there too.
yeah, okay.
Very
That's it.
cool.
Keep us informed on that, man. And, come on the show anytime you want to, Evan or Sam, whichever. Tell us
Okay.
more about what's going on with it. Even if I can't make it, shoot, I want to, but I don't know. My schedule is kind of crazy, but definitely
Sure.
it's a beautiful area to go metal detecting in, anyways. I mean, just to hang out with you guys.
We've got a page that we're starting up, a Facebook page, a private page. So
Right.
we'll be sending out some invitations. So we'll get those sent over to you tonight.
All right.
We're gonna add content as we just really just locked everything down here in the last few days. So
Well, you know what I
yeah,
think is going to
it's
happen,
just,
Evan? It's good. I
hmm
know what's going to happen. Traditional weddings. You send, like a blender or whatever dishes or whatever for the wedding gifts. It's all metal detecting stuff, guys. Get ready, because Sam needs more
yeah.
metal detectors. Doggone it, more shovels, more pinpointers. That's what she really
Well,
wants.
that's one thing we're going to be pretty easy to shop for. That's
Yeah.
for sure. 'Cause,
Hey, I'm trying to get
yeah,
you
we're
some
not.
brand new
Neither one of
GPXs
us
going
are.
on.
They'd like a few gold coins too.
Oh, yeah, a few gold
That'd be nice.
coins. Relics are nice.
Yeah,
Something old.
yeah. It's like was joking with Sam, and they sometimes do the dollar dances where you pay $1, you get to dance with the bride, and I'm like, well, Sam, you can do a silver dollar dance.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King George
it's
Copper.
gonna be a good
It was a
time.
King George Copper dances and stuff like that.
There you go. Yeah. We'll do Real dances. Yeah.
Something
Did you
old.
do a barber half dance the other day?
Really?
No, Craig, say it again. I don't think he heard you.
Oh, did Sam do a barber half dance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She said absolutely.
I hear her in the background.
She said you get multiple dances for a barber.
Yeah, multiple. God, you guys are killing me now. But yeah, keep us informed, and we'll
Yeah.
put it up.
Yeah.
If you put something up on, just message it to me. I'll put it up on Hardcore Metal Detecting if you want.
Okay.
If you want to make an announcement there, you're more than welcome. Just all you got to do is message it over to me so I can. I don't know if you guys can actually post it on our timeline or not, because I think I have it set like that so we don't get a lot of the craziness that goes on.
Yeah, you'll see it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll shoot you guys an invite, and then and you guys can always private message us too. That's anytime.
It would be cool. We can actually put this on Hardcore Metal Detecting Radio too. If I go up there, I can just do a live. A live. You have videos of weddings. Now you're going to have a radio show about your wedding. So
that would be very cool. That would be very cool. Yeah, and I think there's someone that with one of the larger digging publications that really would like to be there too. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You could say their name, brother.
Great.
You could say their name. Is it? I'm guessing who it is, but you could say their name. It's okay too. So we don't care about that at all.
The magazine. Yeah, it's Treasure Hunting Magazine.
Okay,
I
cool.
believe.
Hey, we're friendly to
Oh,
everybody. Yeah, it's all about metal detecting. That's all we care about, man. A metal detecting wedding.
Yeah.
Doggone, this is special. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Is that her
Very
laughing?
cool.
I hear her laughing in the background or something.
Yeah, it's a rowdy house.
Hey, that's okay. That's cool.
We're
All right.
a fun bunch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off, but it was great talking to you both. And yeah, I'll definitely look into the chest mount for the camera. That's a great idea.
Oh yeah, yeah. Man, if you need, you call me anytime, Evan. No problem. I'll help you out with what I can,
Awesome.
and I'll get that. If you could message me sometime in the next couple of days, give me your address, and I'll send that
Okay.
camera up to you. If you don't like it, send it back. It's cool, or give it to another friend.
Awesome.
See if you can use it or
I'll do
whatever.
that.
Okay, man.
Very cool.
Have a good day, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yep. You too. Take it easy,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks a lot. You too.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah, Evan, Sam, good people. So yeah, cameras, guys, you don't have to go, because I've been kind of putting off buying another action cam, but I don't know, Craig, I had to get something a little bit better for what I'm doing with what I want to do with it, and that's why I've kind of gone that way. You don't need a $300 or $400 or $500 camera to do metal detecting videos. The way we've been doing them for years. I mean, and I don't know what the stealth diggers are using or Hoover boys. I'm probably using GoPros too, or something along those lines. But your cell phone, Craig, you shoot with your cell phone and it comes out awesome. I think the color's fine, the picture's fine. I mean, for what you're using it for, it works great. And I use my Android for the same reason. If I don't have my camcorder with me, man, I'll shoot it with my cell phone just because. And actually, your iPhone does better than my Android, I think. But my settings might be wrong too. There's settings and stuff in these action cams and stuff. You watch a couple of videos, they're instructional videos. You pretty much have it down, lighting and stuff like that. They have adjustments for that kind of thing. I'm not going to get into too much detail on it. But get yourself a tripod. A lot of times, guys, I find more tripods at like new and used shops, whatever, thrift stores. You go in there and you'll find, I think every one I've gone into, I've seen a tripod. I got like 4 or 5 tripods because you never know what you're going to need or if one's going to break or whatever. That, in my aspect, anyway, what I do with it. But yeah, I get them for like $5. And if some of these ones I have are, if you look them, they're like $200 tripods. It just they don't know what they have, I guess, or whatever at these thrift stores. I just buy it for $5. It's worth the chance, even if I have to fix something on it, like the crank, to raise it up or lower it is broken. Heck, guys, you can make that thing go up there just by turning it with your fingers and setting it right there as a set screw. So you can make do with what you find for that most people would probably throw away. It works good. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can mount these cameras.
I see people using those gimbal things.
Oh yeah, gimbal.
Those handheld gimbal things.
Mm-hmm.
I was up at when I got the Spark up at Best Buy. I was looking around. They had DJI also has gimbals that they made that are handheld, and but they're pretty pricey, $200-$400.
Yeah, though I got one ordered.
I even seen ones that are motorized. That.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they're.
I mean, they get pretty pricey.
I bought mine.
It gets some pretty good special effects with them.
Well, the thing that sold me I ordered one that's coming in tomorrow too. Is a gimbal. Well, it's not. I don't know if gimbal's a brand name or what they're calling the contraption. So forgive me if I'm like trademark, whatever. Disclaimer, in other words. But I'm calling them gimbal because I just don't know what else to call them. A stabilizer, there we go. But I found one, it's a body mount. It would fit where the chest mount is, Craig. And the guy that sold me on it, he puts this thing on, gets on a mountain bike and starts going down this hill. And the bike is shaking from hitting all the bumps and everything like that. But everything around it is just about perfectly stable. I'm like, okay, great. I can walk through the woods with that or a field or whatever else and get a nice, clean, stable shot. And that's what I'm wanting. You don't have to have that, but it makes you not want to walk like really gingerly so you don't shake the camera. Or when you lean over to get a target or something like that, you always see me adjust the camera. This thing will allow me to just pretty much do what I would just hunt like regular. And I don't have to worry about the stabilization part of it. That's the reason I'm getting it. But I'll show you. I'll probably do a little review on it because I've done a lot of research on this stuff anyways. I wanted something that was going to make my videos a little bit better, that I could make it a little bit less work for me in editing. Oh God, trying to stabilize a video and stuff. And you see anybody who's downloaded to YouTube, it always says, well, your videos seem shaky. Stabilize it now. So there is technology to stabilize it out, but it's never, you got to work for it. In other words, if you can buy something that's going to save you time.
I used to get that years ago, where, and then I would hit the stabilization, but I don't get that anymore. I don't get a notice. I had forgotten about it.
It may be automatic now. I'm thinking it may be automatic. They just do it, or it was just too much. You could do this in a lot of your programs. iMovie has it, stabilize it and all that stuff. You could do that right there on your editing, but it takes more time and it's fussier. And that's why I like a remote control with mine, because, turning on your camera and all this other stuff, the one I have is a pain. I could just leave it on. It has a sleep button or whatever. When it's not being used, it just kind of goes to sleep. You hit a button to start it, and it starts up. And when you go back and edit, you can actually cut. I try to cut out the nonsense. In other words, if there's not dead air time, but I try to get to the point, because you don't want to spend 5 minutes searching for a target in a hole. You pretty much say, well, I'm going to go look for the target now, and you leave the camera on for a few seconds anyways, and you're trying to get through this shot. But on editing, you can actually cut that portion out and splice together what you want, and it just makes it easier viewing for people that are watching the video. They don't have to sit there and watch nothing for, 2 or 3 minutes. So, it's this technology is not really that hard to learn, this editing technology on these Live Movie Maker and on iMovie. They're both, I've used both, and they've really given me no problem. The Finite, if you're looking to make a video that is just really, really, really nice. Yeah, you'd need a lot of this stuff and then some as far as editing goes, but it's not really necessary. I mean, it's kind of like metal detecting. You're going to get dirty, and it's okay. So you can have a shaky video a little bit within reason, and people aren't going to crib about it. I don't think. If they do, then they haven't made a video for themselves because it's very hard to get this stuff perfect. And I mean, to me, it's like character. If you have a few flaws, it's character in your video. Maybe that's the way I look at it. I don't know. Craig, I think you're about the same way too. I mean, the content is what it's all about. So
Yeah.
keep the content good, and you're golden. So.
Well, I try to learn something about it all the time, but I found that I'm starting to, set the shot a little better. Get the lighting better.
The angles, yeah.
Line up the angles right. Stuff like that. Makes a little bit of a difference, I think.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's just
you
your
always,
style.
I'm always looking at other people's videos. Looking at what they do, and there's a lot of different styles, but then there's a lot of people copying everybody else too. It's hard not to. I don't know. I just kind of. It's kind of like what we do. We kind of ad lib, in this show, and I kind of do that with the movie. I don't really plan anything really when I'm doing the movie. I just do clips, and then later on I'll put them together.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I do, except when I'm doing a test. Test videos are totally different than live videos.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a more scripted thing.
I'm actually. Oh, go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
Well, I mean, when you're metal detecting, it's totally unscripted.
Right.
What you're going to find, or
That's the adventure in it. That's the the thrill of it. Nobody know you don't even know what you're going to get in the shot. It might be a piece of junk. It might be a gold coin. You never know. And that's what I like about those kind of videos. The test videos to me are important. But setting up for these tests, there is that portion of people out there that will critique the crap out of you. And and I'm not talking about general critique. I'm talking about the haters, in other words, that come down on you. Oh, you planted that, or you're lying about the depth. You're doing this, you're doing that, and you're pretty much you're essentially telling me you're lying. And that early on, that became bothersome to me because we try to shoot the best test videos we can, and unfortunately, at the time, it takes time. You got to dig the hole. You got to show them there's nothing in the hole, nothing in the plug. And you got to put the coin in there or whatever, and you got to show it, and you got to fill it in, and you spend 10 minutes. It seems like getting a shot set up, and 30 seconds to show what the detector will do, and that's what I'm trying right now.
Yeah.
And my next videos, I'm really wanting to get the rest of this test garden done because I've got 3/4 of it done. And there's a lot of good tests in there for any metal detector because I wanted something I could test any metal detector I buy, take it out there and know what to expect or not know what I expect, but what I'm saying, Craig, understand, okay, these are already buried. I can just show the old footage if I wanted to of it being set up, how deep it is, that kind of thing, and go from there instead of going and wasting all the time to reshoot digging a hole, It just, if you already have it planned and everything, it just makes sense to me to do it that way. And that way I could take any metal detector. There's no differences in the way that the items are in the ground or anything, and just take them over it. And I'll know for myself, if anything, whether it's a contender for me. And if it is, or, I'll post a video up and you guys can check it out. Maybe it's a detector you guys will like. I mean, it's what it's all about. It's the technology is changing so fast. In a lot of ways, these circuits they're using and stuff, it's just on the next level. I mean, I'm a whites guy originally. That's all I kind of used for a long time. MXTs, DFXs, the Spectra V3, I from Whites. These are the kind of machines I used, and I know them very well. But as time moved on, there was other detectors that did a better job in the area that I wanted them to do. So I moved on, but I still go back to MXT or whatever because I think that was always the flagship machine for whites, I thought. I mean, out of all their detectors, the MXT was always a solid, good machine, I think. And it was pretty easy to use. It wasn't really crazy hard to use. Now you get into Spectra V3s, that's when you have to have a little bit of knowledge and have to want to learn because of all the programming and stuff like that you can do in it. But it enabled me to learn metal detectors better and how they work and why they work good. So I kind of self-taught in a lot of this stuff. But, it's what we do. I mean, all of us, I think, have that adventurous streak in us. We don't read instructions right off the bat. We kind of go and do it. Then we come back to it and say, okay, maybe I need to read the directions on this part or that part. That's the way I used to be, Craig. I mean, I really never even opened up a book on a metal detector until I got into probably the Spectra, the V3 from Whites. That I had to do a lot of research on to understand what I had, how to make it work.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like you with probably like the Deus when you first got it. The Deus is when you bought it. Well, they just came out, didn't they? Or recently out anyway. Trying to learn all this stuff.
I was one of the probably top 1 or 2% that got them first, but to me it was an easy machine right off the bat. For a lot of people it wasn't, but
right.
I don't know. I've had so many machines that just, that one clicked. Now, the Bliss was a lot harder, because it did things that I'd never seen possible before.
Right.
But the one machine that got me years ago was when the White Spectrum, their third, computerized machine, that one came out. It's a good machine, but until I learned how to program it, it drove me crazy. I was ready to smash it the first day, and I don't usually get like that.
That's like the Spectra did to me.
After I got it programmed, I was finding a lot of stuff with it. And it was a really good machine for for that period.
Yeah. It was like you heard my wife Pauline. I'm sure some of you guys have it. It almost caused a divorce in my house when I had a Spectra, because that's I go out hunting, come back, and take the control, whatever the top upper shaft off there, and I'd sit in my recliner and program and change the correlate and change the recovery delay and change the sounds and I was driving her insane. I had to put my headphones on so she didn't have to hear the beep 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 beep. It was driving her insane. And you get so hooked on it. You want to make it work. You want to make it work the best. You want to find more, what am I doing wrong? I got to change this and that. That thing it'll kind of make you crazy if you let it. It did me. So, I try to, pick apart the best I can, the best parts of a metal detector. And if it's a detector I think I can make better in the adjustments, Craig, I think that's where it's at anyways. If you can take a standard preset and start making adjustments on it to make it good for your kind of hunting, that's what it's all about. When you have very few ways of adjusting, you're once you hit your limit with that detector, you're kind of stuck. That's why these low-end detectors, they may be pretty good, but they don't have enough adjustment room. Now, when they, some of these detectors now, the newer ones in the last 2 or 3 years, they have a lot more adjustment, even for the novice user, but it's not so difficult that they're going to get frustrated with it. And I think it's when you start getting mid-level, then you get the upper level, like we are in the Deus and the CTX 3030s, and they're more technical, yes, but they're better machines. They do more. They're going to find you more treasure, but ultimately you have to know how to adjust them. You got to take a chance and move some stuff around to get the best performance. Metal detecting, the detector is a part of it, but the user, that's where it's at. If you're not doing stuff right, I guess you could say the basics. If you're not doing the basics right with metal detecting, you're not going to have as much success. If you're not swinging right, if you don't have the settings right, if there's a lot of factors. So the human factor in a metal detector makes a difference. That's why I watch so many videos about the same detector, but with different users, because everybody including me and Craig, and we all have our pluses and minuses when it comes to metal detecting. We may do something wrong, or it may be habit for us in our style, and where another guy doesn't do that. So you get a better idea of what the detector will do when it's used properly. Or I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. It's been a long day, guys. I'm losing my mind. I'm getting too deep again, man. I tell you. But I do. Oh shoot! But yeah, I'm going to get some more information, and I'm going to do some videos on this. And we'll probably talk about you guys on Hardcore here. When you listeners, you guys usually hear stuff first. I mean, and Craig and I, we love doing this show, but it's like we're hanging out with a bunch of our friends. So obviously, you guys hear about stuff long before anybody in the Facebook world or whatever. As far as with us, we'd rather tell you guys because you understand what we're talking about. So, in the next couple weeks, I'll give you some more, I guess, Craig, definitive information, more thorough information. I don't want to go in it half-cocked and not do my part and make sure it's what I think it is. So, we'll see. To be continued.
Yeah.
But anyways, buddy, it's about 9:30, and probably, well, I guess it's after 9:30. Man, it's another fast show. Time flies. But I see, of course, Evan and Sam and Jaron and Bill Marsh is on here tonight. I saw Nelson on here, and Robert Walgass has been on. Robert's been the first one on the chat tonight. He's on the ball there. But, I'm glad, Bill, I'm glad you made it back, brother, because he had to leave for a little while. But yeah, Craig, unless you have something else you want to talk about tonight, we got Saturday right around the corner, so we can bring up a whole other topic. Guys, if you want to hear a topic about a particular thing, or you want to be on the show, hey, just take some message, man. We'll get you put on here. Like Evan calling in tonight. I mean, I've been trying to get Bill Marsh to do a full show, but he won't do it. He just won't do it. I don't know. I'm picking on him now. But no, I mean, it's as simple as talking on a telephone. I mean, that's what we're doing essentially anyways. So if you have a topic or you want to tell a story or whatever, what you've been doing in the hobby, maybe something you're planning on trying, hey, get on here and give us a call sometime. Or message me and I'll make a show all about you. You can be the center of the world. Well, at least our show. But we don't get out that far. But anyway, I tell you, now I'm just babbling. So I'm going to cut out the show now. We're on every Thursday night and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check us out at Hardcore Metal Detecting on Facebook right there. And, of course, our YouTube channels and Facebook pages for Bliss Tool and for our personal pages on YouTube there. You can check those out. Hey, subscribe, guys. That's becoming a more and more of a necessity if you want to be on YouTube and monetize and stuff. We're not really interested in the monetized part of it, but make sure, you subscribe to the videos you like, other people's videos, whatever, like them and subscribe to their channels. It helps them out. Maybe you are, 999 right now and they need one more and you click on it and it gives them 1,000 subscribers and they can maybe take another path, monetize or whatever they want to do, however that works, and help them out too. So, and about helping each other. So catch you later. You guys get out there, keep digging, God bless, and we'll talk to you on Saturday night.